Everybody, it's Rich from NewsRadio WRVA. It's a Friday. Little tired this morning. Went out to the Funny Bone last night to see our new best friend, TJ Miller. Great show, but dragging a little this morning. So let's get after it. It's time for Richmond's Morning News. Here we go. Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Friday, April 10th, 6:03 in the morning. This is Richmond's Morning News. My name is Rich Herrera. I am exhausted. Stayed out last night on a school night. This is like the fourth night in a row I've stayed out on a school night. Now I know why my parents used to say, hey, get to bed, it's a school night. But had a great time last night. I went to go see TJ Miller at the Funny Bone, who was on the show last week. Great show. So well worth the lack of sleep. But now we're going to have to really bear down for the program today because we have a lot going on this morning on this Friday. Again, a reminder, you can win $100,000 as we celebrate our 100th anniversary on NewsRadio WRVA. It's all brought to you by RoofMax. So between now and the end of the program, you'll have an opportunity to win $100,000. We'll ask you to give us 4 digits. You get those 4 digits right, you will win $100,000 to celebrate our 100th birthday, courtesy of RoofMax. So all of that coming up on the program today. I got a lot to get to on this sibling day. Let's just go right to it and get started with Richmond's Morning News Brief. Number one story of the day, the peace talks will begin on Saturday. J.D. Vance leading the American delegation, sitting down. Pakistan was trying to broker a peace deal with the U.S. and Iran. Here's the latest from Fox News. So then we'll play this and I'll drink Diet Coke.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the goal of the talks is to disarm Hezbollah and to create a historic peace agreement between Israel.
Mike Tobin reporting from Fox News. So I said this yesterday, and somebody told me this, and I kind of agree with it. If you listen to Richmond's Morning News, we'll give you all the information you need for the day. If you don't, you're going to be playing catch up most of the day. So we told you this before anybody else on yesterday's program. Very interesting. If Israel and the U.S. are negotiating with Iran, and they say ceasefire, we're no longer going to engage for 2 weeks until we figure out what to do. That doesn't mean that Hezbollah is off the hook as far as the fighting with Israel. But now Iran's coming back. Whoa. We have a ceasefire. You're breaking it by attacking Hezbollah. So now, for the first time ever, Iran has actually taken ownership, and we have receipts that they control Hezbollah. Hezbollah is part of Iran. The same can be said for Hamas and the Houthis. So Iran kind of gave a tell. If you're playing the World Series of Poker, is when they shuffle their chips, that means that they're bluffing. When they tell you that, wait a minute, they opened up their mouth, maybe they shouldn't have, because now they have no plausible deniability between their proxies who have been in war with Israel and the United States for the last 40 years. Now, what's going on? The Strait of Hormuz is supposed to be open. 12 ships went through yesterday, but now Iran is saying, okay, if you want to go through the Strait of Hormuz, we told you yesterday, that's not international waters, but it is an international passageway where you should be able to have, by international law, maritime law, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Again, it's half owned by Iran, and the other claim is by Oman, but it is an uncontested waterway where you're supposed to be able to have free navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is saying no. And the rest of the world is watching. That's why oil prices continue to rise as they choke that off. Now, here's the other part of all of this, is that if you look at what Iran's doing right now, does the left hand know what the right hand's doing? Because we've seen some peace plans go through, and we've seen some things over here, and then we've seen other things over there. I'll tell you what's going on. Here's the deal. Donald Trump is escalating to de-escalate. He is threatening to let them know We will not back down. We are not going to be giving you pallets of cash like Barack Obama. When we say don't, like Joe Biden, oh, there's a big stick come along with that. Don't. If you don't do what we ask you to do, then that big stick is going to come, and it's called the United States Air Force and Navy, and you will pay a price. That's Donald Trump. Position of strength, only thing that matters in the Middle East. You show any type of weakness, any side of capitulation, any chance of sticking out the olive branch, they take it as weakness at this point, and they will not respect you. Now, on the other side, what's happening? On the Iranian side, who's really in charge? Is it the mullahs? Is it the Ayatollah? Is it the IRGC? And I think what we're seeing right now is that government is so fractured that you're seeing the president and the envoys are going to sit down and talk with one part of the Iranian government. Well, what if the IRGC doesn't like what the part of the Iranian government talking to the Americans has agreed to? What we're seeing right now is the different fractions that were held together by authoritarian regime don't have that head of the snake in the Ayatollah. And now you're starting to see them bicker and go back and forth with each other to be very fruitful to see how these negotiations go. Do the Iranians have one position, or do the mullahs have one position? The IRGC has another position, and yet another position for the rest of government. Do they speak with one voice? That's going to be the most interesting thing to watch over the weekend. But J.D. Vance will lead the delegation. Witkoff, Kushner representing the United States. Israel will be represented. Pakistan is brokering this. And then we'll see which fraction of the Iranian government shows up. Is it the IRGC or is it the mullahs? Both can be true at the same time. We'll see what happens. Story number 2. The governor has signed some bills and some others she'd veto. One of those is a Fairfax casino. Now, she also is taking credit for a lot of stuff that I'm not sure she really did. This is our second story of the day.
Number 2.
I'm also really proud of the fact that even in the earliest days of my administration, we closed some pretty substantial deals, bringing investment and bringing jobs to Virginia.
So if you follow me on Twitter at Rich4America, I responded back. The governor signed a bill that codified 4 big deals. One of them was Eli Lilly building in Goochland. I thought, oh, that's great. But then she starts taking credit for, look what we've done so early in my administration. Look at these billions of dollars we brought into the Commonwealth. What? I'm sorry. I went to the press conference September 16th, 2025. How do I know that? Because it's on my phone, it's on my camera. I took a picture of the governor. I took a picture of the CEO of Lilly. I took a picture of the governor, and it wasn't Abigail Spanberger, it was Glenn Youngkin. Took a picture of my friend Juan Pablo Segura, who was the Secretary of Commerce who helped quarterback that, bringing it to Virginia, Goochland County. I took pictures of all of that. I went to the press conference. It was Glenn Youngkin is in office. So again, the governor is starting to have some real issues because governing is different than running. Running, you could just make all the promises you want. Governing, people expect results and they expect transparency and they expect a lot more. So as this governor continues to roll out her plans, she's also has to make sure she's maybe a little bit more transparent, a little bit more particular with her words. So if she says, oh, I brought in all this money, well, actually, you signed the bill to finish off the work that Glenn Youngkin did. It wasn't your administration who did that. Now, meanwhile, this is very interesting. She vetoes a casino in Fairfax. Why does that matter to you? Well, Fairfax County, right now, I believe I saw somewhere online, they're $165 million short. The casino could have helped make up that shortfall for Fairfax. Remember, Fairfax needs money. They need money for the Metro and D.C., for the Northern Virginia counties. Well, now that they're not going to have that casino money to help fill their coffers, where are they going to find it? Oh, that's right. Louise Lucas is holding out the state budget because she wants to do away with the sales tax exemption for the data centers. Data centers bring in billions of dollars in tax revenue, but they do get a little bit of a break when it comes to replacing equipment inside those data centers. They get hot, those servers get overheated, they burn out very quickly, they're constantly changing them out, and they get a break on the sales tax on those. They do pay a different type of fee, a different type of tax, but it's not one of a sales tax like you would for other businesses. That's what brought them into Virginia. Well, now that Fairfax casino's gone away, is that going to be enough to help Louise Lucas do away with the data center tax break? She wants to take that away from them so they pay more in taxes. That's one of the reasons why we're able to offset them coming into the state, because they bring in so much money, so much revenue, so many jobs. This is now a little bit of a game of chess. Where does Abigail Spanberger stand in this? Why did she say no to the casino? Does it have anything to do with the data centers? We'll find out in the next week or so. Story number 3, we'll sit down with the mayor, the head of the DMV in Virginia, talking about public safety and talk about pedestrian safety. That's on the agenda for today. Number 4 big story of the day, the Masters, second round. We will talk about that. My friend Dennis Paul, we tried to talk to him yesterday, but like we said, you can't get phones once you're at Augusta. We're going to get him on the program today, we promise. And then finally, can we go ahead and get to number 5? All right, let's get to story number 5. Today is National Sibling Day, and in honor of that, Hunter Biden wants to spend some quality time with the Trump brothers.
Number 5.
Hey guys, Hunter Biden here. I just got a call from Andrew Callahan. He asked me to come out on the Channel 5 Carnival Tour at the end of the month. I think we start in Phoenix, and then we go to San Diego, and we end in Albuquerque. And I think he's trying to organize a cage match, me versus Herrera Jr. I told him I'd do it. I'm 100% in. If you can pull it off, and if you can, I'm still coming.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to spend a lot of time with Hunter Biden and then have him fight the Trump brothers. In honor of National Sibling Day, I have a question for you. Who's tougher, you or your siblings? 833-804-1140. Who's tougher, you or your siblings? If you were to fight as kids, who would win? When I was a kid, I got a brother 8 years younger than I am. I could always whoop him. Now that we're adults, he's in law enforcement. I'm not. I know that he is now the dominant member of the family. And if we ever squared off, he would kick my rear end. I'm only saying that because he's not listening to the show right now, and I would never admit that in public. But give me some stories of sibling rivalries where you would actually square off with each other and who would win. And if you did it today, who would win? 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140 on the James River Air text line. We'll read the best ones coming up at 6:55, 7:55, and 8:55. All right, let's talk about my friends at Green Top Sporting Goods. So, about 10 days ago, I think it was, Super Dave? You know, I go into Green Top a lot. I love that store because there's somebody who knows what they're doing in every single department.